Well, Sweaty got mad at me because I'm having an interview with you. I was like, I gotta talk to Thrax. He goes, we're having a super secret conversation. You can leave that in. You can leave that in. He can know.
Sweaty.
he'll know. He'll know I spent some of my time trash talking him. It's important.
I'll put this at the beginning of the video.
So he's like, oh yeah, super secret interview. Love you, Red Boy.
Perfect.
And again, that also has access to the new Gambit Prime weapon loot pool. Certain weapons drop with certain bosses. I think that's a fun mechanic. I think that the drop rates are abysmal. If Bungie gets big enough after Shadowkeep and they can devote some resources to rebalancing the drop rates for different activities in the game, I think Reckoning would be like a top tier end game weapon farming area packed with players all the time. Like you'd constantly see people in there. You'd never have bad teams. That's not true. You're always going to get a bad team here and there, but like you'd be good to go. But all in all, they need to remove Blackout. Like, get over yourself, Bungie. Just take Blackout out of the game. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it. You're wrong. God.
Blackout
So tired
is
of
rough.
Blackout.
Yes.
It's just awful.
Very rough modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm glad they took out... What was it? Glass. They took out glass.
Oh my god.
Thank God.
What a bad modifier. Who thought that was a good idea? I don't like you, sir, whoever thought it was a good idea. And I'm glad it's out of the game.
Glass was a rough modifier.
Uh-huh.
It's like half your health. It's like, okay.
Now you have half health, but you restore yourself quick. Oh, Blackout's on. You're dead in one hit.
Yeah, anything kills you.
Everything kills you.
So yeah, they took out one modifier, which is good. So maybe there's hope.
Maybe one day. There's always hope. The rest of them are fine. They're annoying, but you can work with them.
Yes.
Blackout's hard. Especially when one of the bosses in Reckoning is melee based. So I think that's a little indicative that maybe you shouldn't have that thing in there.
That makes that really rough.
Mm-hmm. Menagerie, though, moving on from Gambit and Reckoning, there's not too much else to be said about that you can't find plastered all over the internet.
Oh yeah. Good weapons though coming from Gambit, Prime, and Reckoning.
Oh god, yes. Spare ration, phenomenal hand cannon. If you can get a our good friend Sweaty, his role of it is rapid hit and swashbuckler with range masterwork, just everything, just tricked out for range. It's an incredible hand cannon in any game mode. It's so good, but it's so hard to get.
Very hard to get.
I'm so happy for him. Like, it's amazing that he has that weapon. He deserves it. With all of the nonsense I give him for all the roles I have, you should have something like that.
Right.
Even the Scout's pretty good, believe it or not. Because it can get outlaw and multi-kill clip, which, if you get that going, is great. But hard to get going right now. Shotgun's good. Well, that's just Parcel. That's just from Gambit.
Yeah, the parcel was good. Bygones, obviously. Well, Gambit kind of related.
Gambit weapons are good in general. They're pretty good workhorsey stuff. Soul Survivor's a fun sniper that you can pick up from Gambit Prime. An easy way to get that, easy, as I'm saying, that's like haughty much. But a way to acquire a curated role of that is to invade in Gambit Prime and wipe the team. So learn to snipe. Or bring a Jotun. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, bring a Jotun. Jotun.
You just never quit, do you? Took out Gaul, woke up the Traveler, and now half of what I
But
hear...
Menagerie, I would like to say some things about that. That game mode is great. It is great. There's a lot to do in it. You can get a lot of triumphs out of it, which are useful for building titles and triumph scores if you're a triumph score farmer, which most of us are without admitting it. The encounters are fun. They're dynamic. It's a well thought out piece of the game. It's great that you can load up your Chalice of Opulence, which you get via the quest line, if you're curious of that. You have to have Season of Opulence. You have to start your quest line from Werner on... Werner, right? Yeah,
Werner?
Werner? I can never remember his name. Another robot on Nessus. He has a big barge. Very easy to find. You start it there and it unlocks it. But the Chalice lets you select exactly what drop you're going to get. Exactly what drop you're going to get with a set masterwork. The only thing you don't know is the roll.
Yes.
There was a cheese at the beginning of Season of Opulence where you could get up to like, I think 7 or 8 was the highest on PC, but you get pretty handily get 5 on a console, which is great. You get 5 drops.
Take a look at our wares.
But then they patched it.
Sad.
Very OP. They patched it too hard. I think they should have added at least 1 other chest to the overall encounter. Let us have 2. If we can't have 5 or 8, I think that we're used to this now. You should let us have 2.
Yes.
It's a little bit too much of a time commitment to actively be farming for those things outside of your weekly power drops. It's kind of the issue with it. But the weapons in it are so good that it's worth it. They're so strong. There's a shotgun called Imperial Decree that just... It's like having a handheld rocket launcher that doesn't kill you. It's amazing. It's so powerful against bosses and majors that it just deletes their health. It's like, oh, you using a grenade launcher? No, man, I have a shotgun. Watch. Allstringer is one of the best hand cannons in the game. It's an adaptive frame. It's quite literally IS Luna from D1 for veteran players. It's amazing. It can get all kinds of rolls that are good for all kinds of things. That's a great gun to grind for because it lets you grind for 2 things at once. So you're not going to be mad if you get the PvP roll, even if you're looking for a PvE roll. You're like, well, now I have this great thing. I can go use that whenever I want.
Exactly.
The sniper, I am a slut for. Beloved is the best sniper in the game, and fight me.
Beloved.
It can get snapshot and quick draw, which makes it just one of the most lethal things in the game.
Hurry back.
It can get both, is what I mean by that, at the same time. I have that, and it's perfect. You should be grinding for that. If you have access to Menagerie, please go get that gun. It will change your life in PvP. And PvE, to be totally honest, it makes everything more fun. It's just a great weapon. And also, you add into that in Menagerie, you can also farm for Duskrock Blues. You can farm for Retold Tales, an option in there. Waking Vigil, the Dreaming City hand cannon, which is actually an amazing hand cannon. It was just so hard to get before that no one really knew. Tons. There are plenty of guides online that'll just have a picture of the table of how you insert your runes to get certain weapons. And armor, by the way. You can pick exactly what power drop for armor you need. Exactly which one. It's wild. What a great thing. We'll be using that heavily come Shadowkeep, I guarantee you.
Oh yes.
It's great. The downside is that you only get... Well, there's a perk you can get on your Chalice that'll randomly give you 2 drops at the last chest, but it's a random thing. Only being able to get 1 chest is a big downfall of that game mode. Unfortunately. What is this?
Yeah, I agree. If they had at least like 1 more chest, so you get 2 and then potentially 3 things from it, I think it would make Menagerie a lot more consistently fun to do. Because yeah, like JP said, it has been time commitment, especially if you don't like ace like each encounter, because then it does take longer and longer each time.
Mm-hmm.
Even to do 3 takes a while because you have to run over to where you have to be, and then again finish it. So it's a bit of a time waster, but it's very fun though.
Big step forward. Big step forward for loot drops.
Yes. Very happy that we can, again, get the loot you want, so you don't have to do something like 20 times and still not get the weapon you want, or armor, whatever. Now you just have to pray and hope you got the right roll. So it takes at least 1 RNG element out, but...
It takes 2 out, because you can set the masterwork too,
and a masterwork
which is extremely important. That way it's not like, I got a god roll, but it's the wrong masterwork, so it's not a god roll.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you got a god roll. It's exactly what you want. Great thing. Great ideas, and I hope they approach more activities like that going forward, where we can go in and select what we're going to get, or doing a certain activity guarantees this, or the drop rate's 50% for completing the activity. Like, something big. Like, you need to understand that rare stuff is cool, and really fun to chase, but don't make it too rare. Like, there's a lot of perks in the game that need to be taken off of weapons and stuff like that just don't really work. Like hipfire grip on sniper rifles. Stop it. Stop it. No one does that. Because you can't do that. Unless you're like some pro streamer that just like flicks them real quick when you're on PC. Like, you, the average player, will never do that.
Exactly. Exactly. Alright.
What else you got for me?
Let's see what else is. The triple hall they added it's pretty cool.
I always just like forget that exists because it's just like this side project I do every day, and I'm just like that's like a hobby.
Here, I'll take us to yours because you have everything.
Indeed I do, sir. Indeed I do, except for the very last thing, but nobody cares about that. I did not cheese the daily offerings.
Yes, I gotta work on those. Yeah, they had this little cool link to exotic quest line with Bad Juju. What they brought back from D1 as well. And it's cool little... This little cool, like, I guess... It's like a physical moments of triumph kind of area, I guess you'd call. Where you do these certain activities within the game and you have to wear a certain armor. Then you unlock like a little special hall. And the hall's very like unique to your own. But then if you do like the raid,
I mean, they're all the same,
but it's the same,
down the line, but it's cool.
It's it's a nice little personal, especially if maybe
like
you don't play a lot. You could be like, oh sweet, there's a thing for doing the raid and doing this and whatever it might be.
We went so gung-ho on those when it came out. Good lord.
We went
it's great.
Crazy.
There's this, instead of just having in a page of text, basically, you completed Last Wish, you have a thing in here that says you completed Last Wish wearing a certain set of armor a certain number of times. Or so forth. And you have this thing now, and you can go look at it. And then there's other stuff in here that you purchase or unlock, and you can interact with it. And that's what makes this so cool. This is a really fun thing to just play with. It's great to test your weapons in, because Thrax can go show you guys, activate some enemies.
Yes. I don't yet to go activate them.
I will.
Yeah, so it's always look. It's all the cool little things. I don't have these unlocked either.
Oh my god, it's so
I
funny.
don't have like anything else. Yeah, it's always like cool things that Bungie's adding. Are like, hey, you know, I like this. It's cool. You know? There we go. The super thing.
This lets you, so this whole room now basically is just a firing range for you, for anybody. So
you could test
so
weapons.
As I activate these, you can. They get stronger as you go down the line, but you can test out all your weapons and they respawn. They don't fight back, except for the phalanx can kill you. If you get too close to him, he can knock you into a wall like one time. Alright, he should do it now. I didn't do it. But these are in-game representations of things that you fight, of course. They go up in strength up to boss level. Here, for instance, each race is represented. In Minotaur.
Minotaur for obviously the yellow boys.
Boop.
Hobgoblins, harpies, the basic goblins. You just kind of you can test out weapon damage. So instead of having to go out into the real game and killing something, you can just come here and compare weapons, compare damage, see what you like, see what kills what faster, damage numbers for a lot of those YouTubers that need to, you know, lay out the hard fact numbers.
And you can play with the relics from the raids and other encounters in game, which is always really fun. Yep. If you'd like to show them, these are the sort of things, I don't know how spoilery you want to be, but if you look over where I am, it's where all the raid and other triumphs are.
Oh yeah, if you don't want to see this, you can just, no, look right now, but
look away.
look away. These different statues that can appear in your tribute hall for all the things that you've done with the armor, and just kind of show up here. You place them down, and cool
stuff.
Cool little visual thing just to kind of have and chill out. And then there's the ogres, the captains from the Fallen. These things are pretty expensive though.
Yeah, I'm Destiny rich, so I wouldn't go after these right away. Actually, I think I need to do this still. I do. It's cool though. It's fun to have these new things in the game. Like this kind of stuff is really good for keeping the player base happy and active. I'm very impressed. Very good additions to the video game. Season of Opulence, if you're only going to buy one of this year's seasons, this is the one to buy, by the way. By far. This is the most important season. It's got the most stuff in it. The raid is very good.
Yes.
It's fun. I don't really have a lot more I could really say about that. It's Season of Opulence, very good. Its weapons are very strong. There's a lot of callbacks to everything else you've done throughout your playing of Destiny, and I think that makes it important. It makes it fun. I like to be able to show off how good I was at this game. Like most gamers, that's a big part of being a gamer.
Right. In fact, yeah. And Destiny's been doing more and more of that, again with the triumphs that they added, and triumph scores, and your collection. You can show off how many collection things you got with an emblem. For the people that really, care for that, and people that play like MMOs and just achievement hunt in those games, and
there's a lot you can do in here.
So you can kind of play it how you want to play it. There's more and more that Bungie's adding for these kind of, like, if you like doing this, there's more of this to do. If you like doing this, there's more of this to do. And if you want to get powerful gear by only playing Crucible, you want to get powerful gear by doing this. So you don't have
ways now.
Yeah, you don't have to specifically do just one activity, one thing, one whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's awesome. You have access to a million things you can do here. Like, all of these things that are in here show that you have done these other activities in the game, and they're a really good representation of ways to get stronger in Destiny. Do everything.
Like, tons to do now. A zillion things to do now. Again, too much for even us that play practically almost every single day.
Yeah. It's great. Fun way to have a game. Oh, yeah, look at how strong this is, Thrax. You don't even have this weapon.
One day.
Get your mountaintop, please. Pinnacle weapons in general are a favorite topic of mine. I love them. They're my favorite weapons.
Yes, so they added right now. I have one on right now, currently. With the I think they first introduced Pinnacle weapons back in, I guess it was the PvP ones.
Claymore was the first one.
Yeah, Claymore was the first Pinnacle weapon. Pinnacle in term Bungie's term for like these special kind of weapons, unique weapons. Weapons that have perks that no other weapons have, or special things that, yeah, again, no other weapon can do. The Claymore, again, was the first one from Season
3.
3, yeah. Where you had to get the 2100 glory. And comp Crucible, which was difficult to do back then.
Very.
Very difficult. A lot of good people that played back then, and even though there was a lot of people that played, it was still like it was really tough to get there. And then if you got all the way to Legend somehow, if you're a god at PvP, you get a little ornament for your weapon. Nice little extra show off. But the weapon was the main thing to get 2100 at Fabled. I did manage to get there, barely.
Good for you, buddy. I do that one.
I did not go any further. That's all I can say. It was very tough.
In retrospect, I probably could have gotten there that season, but I'm glad I didn't pull my teeth out about that.
Yeah, it was tough. It was
That being
tough.
said, though, I think it's really good to mention how much better the Pinnacle weapon quests have gotten over time. Because the first couple were pretty harsh.
Yes. So then season 4...
Go for it, yeah.
Season 4 they added another Crucible one. Crucible only. Which was... They added 2 this time. Which is both the Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten. So these were deemed to be these god tier... They were... god tier... PvP weapons that if you had them, you basically almost win every encounter. If you fought somebody against suicide like a primary, any other kind of primary, that these weapons would dominate and kill you. One of the fastest time to kill weapons that were not like a special weapon, kind of ideal. So with the now the quests for them, very hard, but the weapons when you did get them, very strong, very worth the time investment to get them. The quest line was very rough to get Luna's Howl. Having to get you had to get what was it, like solar kills to begin with, like 250. I can't remember.
You had to get like well over 1,000 kills of different types, entirely in comp.
Entirely comp.
With weapons that you may or may not be familiar with yet. It was rough. Because hand cannons were just coming to prominence at that point. Like, it was new territory for most people. Outside of like the PvP, like legends. They knew what they were doing with certain roles, but Luna also was one of the first times that the Pinnacle, it's the only time, actually, that the Pinnacle weapon leads to another Pinnacle weapon. The upgraded version of that with Not Forgotten, which is just... Thrax has it, I do not. I don't know. I'm gonna probably eventually get it. It's one of those things that I think about more and more nowadays, but... You have to get to Legend now, which is... brutal.
It is brutal. Even...
Easier now than it ever was.
Yes, it is a little... It has been getting easier and stuff with the... people that you can find to play with and... all that stuff. Yeah, even with even Luna's again, having to get, you had to get all those kills just in comp. You could only get them in comp. It was like hand cannon headshots with solar kills, with doing a whole bunch of different, like JP said, up to probably 1,000 kills or so. And then hit 2100 glory at the end, get fabled. So instead of just being hit 2100, you had to do all this extra stuff. Of course, you got a really great hand cannon. And then you get an extra 200 or 300 kills with Lunas and comp to work towards your Not Forgotten. And it was all very intensely. During that season, I got just to fabled, managed to finish everything using the Trust hand cannon. And Ace.
Same.
Yeah. Trust cannon was pretty much my main weapon of choice at the time that I was around. What we had available. And managed to get the Lunas. And again, kind of barely getting the fabled-ish at that point. so didn't really push for Legend that season. I think I played a little bit more. I think I only ended off at like 2,500 points, and I was realizing, like, you know, like, because once you have the Lunas, then you're like, not forgotten, the dream. That dream of trying to get to Legend.
A little annoying. Yeah.
But again, it was like, holy shit, this is going to be a lot of work to get to Legend. Because again, that's the Legend for top tier PvP people that you're like, how am I ever going to compete against these boys? And
they are so good. Like,
very good
having
players.
played the little bit that I've played with the guys like that, that's like, it's a different breed of person.
It is like, it's Destiny from when you go into a quick play game to comparatively Destiny playing at like Legend rank and comp. It's like, it's holy the change. It's massive. Very good players, very good, and crazy guys who go from broken.
But beyond that, they got a little bit more simple, right? Like, you go into, well, I say simple in a general term in that if you get Not Forgotten, you can probably handle anything else, because Not Forgotten is definitely the biggest challenge for a PvP Pinnacle weapon. Legend alone, just that part is the hard part. But Mountaintop happened after that. That was the next one. Now, it actually doesn't have it, but I
still don't have that weapon.
This weapon I have on right now. It is an obscene quest to do. It's not actually, on paper, very simple quest. Get grenade launcher kills, get grenade launcher multi-kills, get a specific medal in the Crucible. All of these things are more, they count for more in comp. Sounds simple, right? No. Grenade double kills, grenade launcher double kills is one of the hardest steps you can do in the game. And I feel compelled to say this because I want Thrax to hear me say it again. There's a trick for it. You can get a kill with any weapon, and then you immediately swap to your grenade launcher. And if you get a kill with that grenade launcher within a couple of seconds, it counts as a grenade launcher double kill. Go get your Mountaintop, everybody. It is that good.
So if I could...
This weapon...
Okay.
You can do it. This weapon is a miniature rocket launcher. Here, Thrax, come over here. I'll show him. Check this out. Ready? Straight firing, huge impact, get melted. 6 shots.
Wow. Yeah, like that.
Oh. Look at that.
Yeah, that gun is crazy strong. Especially with the, again, the buffs with the grenade launchers. It's like, it made that gun incredibly strong.
Phenomenal weapon. But that quest was really hard, but you also only had to get to Fabled after that. There was no more Legend Pinnacle weapon. Like, there is only one Legend Pinnacle weapon, and it is Not Forgotten. Everything else in the game is done for Fabled. That's your Crucible Pinnacle weapon. And they got better after that.
Yes, things got way simpler. After Mountaintop. Mountaintop was the last of... Or no, what else came with Mountaintop? Was that it? Oh no, that was... Okay, so after Luna's and... the season after Losing Not Forgotten, they decided to add PvE Pinnacle weapons.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And so... Then they started, yeah, one for like Vanguard or PvE. And then...
There you go.
Like for... So again, they added the Mountaintop for another PvP one. They added the Loaded Question, a very great fusion rifle. Usually a grind, but again, very worth it. Very strong fusion rifle, very strong weapons. What else was there? With
Gambit.
Gambit, they added...
Delirium was the first one.
Yes, they added...
Wasn't it?
No. It was Breakneck, wasn't it?
Right, yeah, Breakneck was first. An auto rifle.
Yes, auto rifle. Again, unique perk with that rampage stack thing, the onslaught. But again, very like unique weapons that you would normally not get perks on any other weapon, or something to that degree. The only Pinnacle weapon I think that's been like the most lackluster is I think the Oxygen, which is the one that JP has on right now.
I had on. I took it off. Put it on. Loaded quested. I'll switch it.
I have Recluse on right now. Yeah, loaded question. Very, very amazing fusion rifle.
Top tier.
Top tier fusion rifle.
Here's Oxygen.
Oxygen. The Oxygen had this weird perk where it was supposed to make like Dragonfly stronger, but again, it didn't really make it that much stronger. And of course, nope. Sky Rifles in their current state, not great. Awful. So, it was a hit and a miss with that gun until they hopefully buff it. Or once Sky Rifles are buffed, hopefully that will then have a little more shine and the limelight things in the future. Currently, it's just a very average Sky Rifle.
Yep.
Because, yeah, damage is very
bad.
Very bad, and the unique perk on it doesn't make it really much any better.
Yeah.
So all the Pinnacle weapons, again, have been above average. Very good weapons, except for the odd few. Another one they added from last season is the Recluse submachine gun. Arguably one of the best Pinnacle weapons that people would probably say. In terms
That's
of
the best Pinnacle weapon in the game.
PvE, like all around. Yeah, even you heard just JP say it. Best Pinnacle weapon.
It's the best. It's the best, dude. It's so strong.
Some machine guns never really had their shining light, but the Recluse have very easily made the submachine gun genre very noticeable again, very strong. You can just melt majors with them even faster than any other primary kind of weapon can, due to the Master of Arms perk, which is a unique perk where any weapon you get a kill with, that includes Recluse or like a sniper, a shotgun, will activate this perk on this gun that will increase its damage. So that way you get like a shotgun kill, a sniper kill, switch to it, and just immediately start going at it. And it'll just keep refreshing each kill. It's a force to be reckoned with. PvE, PvP. With Feeding Frenzy too, so you reload. Like it's again, arguably one of the best Pinnacle weapons. Definitely for PvE wise. Again, arguably on top.
It's the kind of important that causes people who don't play PvP to play PvP. Like it's that level of good.
Oh yeah. I have friends that they hate PvP, but they want to play it just to get this gun.
Get that.
Get the Recluse. That's how strong it is. Pink and Matt are in that boat. People that hate PvP. They will play it just to get this weapon.
There's also the Wendigo.
Yes, they also had the Wendigo from this season. A very strong grenade launcher.
Let's go to the Ogre.
Yeah.
Show you this. It has a perk that lets you pick up orbs of light even if your super's full, but regardless of that, every time you pick up an orb of light, up to 6, it stacks an explosive light buff onto you. Each one of these represents 1 grenade in your drum, and with all 6 procced, you can do things like this. That's like a Nightfall level boss strength enemy.
Yes, these 5. Like comparing to like this, like Captain, like you can see them. The amount of damage I'm doing to this boss is like. Then he just kind of comes out of nowhere and once he gets orbs of light.
Well, I gotta make him again, but because it doesn't work on the regular one. But the fact remains that the weapon in and of itself is so strong that it was a huge part of raiding and things like that, and just general end game activities because it does so much damage.
Usually, if there's an arc, buff, burn on, and heavyweight, this gun will absolutely melt everything super quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bungie has been doing a very good job with Pinnacle weapons, making them rare and unique, and actually wanting to get them.
Well, it makes you feel strong too. It helps a lot. The power fantasy is real.
Power fan is huge with them. Again, with like Recluse and Mount Top and all that crazy stuff.
There's also some other ones that are, I think, a little underwhelming, to be honest. There's 2 more Gambit Pinnacle weapons. There's a bow and a heavy machine gun. The bow is currently this season's. It's called Hush. I actually don't have Hush yet. Drex has it.
I'm close to it. I don't have it either.
Oh, you don't have it yet? I thought you had
I'm
it.
like 100 kills away.
Everyone I know that has it, I'm like 25. I'm just being extremely lazy. But it's a hipfire grip bow, and if you get a hipfire headshot kill, it increases your rate of fire to like Robin Hood levels. Like you're just constantly shooting arrows at things, but it's a really circumstantial and kind of weird weapon to use. It's cool though. It's fun. It's an interesting way to get it because you have to get a lot of bow kills. And it made me better at bows, which I appreciated.
Yes.
And then there's Delirium, and Delirium is the only heavy machine gun of its archetype. It's a rapid fire type. I don't have it on me right now, so I can't look at the stats. But it gets more bullets in the magazine the more kills you get with, the more, is it special ammo picked up? Or it's kills.
Yeah, more kills, I think, add.
Yeah.
But it does have overflow, so if you do pick up, like,
that's what it is, in kill tally.
I think it's overflow, right? Let me check. Yeah, so when you pick up special or heavy ammo, it reloads. You get even more ammo, so it can stack up with the kill tally. And yeah, like JP said, I mean, it's fun to use once you kind of like, you can mow down a bunch of simple ads pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is the
fun,
first.
Not powerful. It's different.
Yeah, it's fun to use, not like an end game type weapon, but if you're running around Arc, yeah. Hopefully it'll get a buff at some point. Still strong, but yeah, it's still not up there for a top DPS kind of weapon currently.
Agreed.
And then there's Revoker, which is a sniper from PvP this season.
Big fan.
Very strong. High base damage sniper. I am close to it. I'm about 600 glory away from getting it.
It's great. You're gonna love it.
Just have to get back in the comp. But it's very amazing.
I mean, that's a pretty simple weapon. I mean, that weapon's simple. It hits hard, it has snapshot, it's a phenomenal sniper rifle, and its perk is that if you miss a shot and you don't fire off another shot right away, in a couple of seconds you get that round back. Can't really overstate how important that is for Crucible. You have so many more chances to land your shots, and that makes you invaluable.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I think in terms of weapons and stuff like that, I think we covered pretty much.
That's all of them.
Pretty much everything. Like, Thousand Voice is still really strong.
Yeah.
Whisper got a hard nerf.
Rip.
Sadly. Everything else is kind of pretty much where you expect it to be. Rock launchers. Heavy machine guns are again, they're good. Like the new red one's good. Bane of Sorrow.
Yes. There's a lot of weapons that are out there right now that are really good. There's your legendary options expanded a lot with this particular season, and I think that's a really important thing to have.
Yes, which is very good. Currently,
the Bane of Sorrow in particular, if you get the curated role, is one of the best PvE legendary heavy machine guns they put in the game. It's extremely stable, it shoots like a laser, enemies explode everywhere, it has outlaw, it's great, it's beautiful.
Yes.
It all comes back to that power fantasy, and a lot of these weapons allow you to have that, and that's very good. I like it. I like these Pinnacle weapons. I like the raiding weapons a lot. I think that those... There's some that are a little lacking, but that's just due to balancing issues and archetype problems, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I think that going forward, Bungie will be balancing that better and figuring it out. And I think their raid team listened really heavily to the feedback from all of the previous raids, and now we're going to get better weapons like that. It basically adds a second tier of PvE Pinnacle weapons that you can go chase.
Yes. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, what else is... Ghosts are ghosts.
I don't care about ghosts. I'm not going to talk to you about ghosts.
Look cool though. Cool designs.
I like cool designs.
And they had the little ghost projections on Ghost now, which is kind of cool.
Yes. What else you got? What time is it? Oh shit. I got like 20 more minutes, Thrax.
Okay.
Sorry. We've been talking a while.
I know. Yeah, armor's pretty much the same. Obviously, we just talked about like enhanced perks earlier.
Yeah, I mean the cool thing about armor right now is that enhanced perks exist in a lot of ways, but also like this information when Shadowkeep comes out isn't going to be as pertinent because Armor 2.0 is dropping, and that's like super modular armor that you can change your perks around to suit you. Just your goal is to find the piece and then find the materials to upgrade that piece into what you want. They're really leaning heavy into the MMO aspect on that, and I am very confident that's not only going to attract new players, it'll bring back old players, and it's certainly going to keep me going, because if I can actively and intently grind out something that's going to make me better at an activity, I will do that. They're changing the way that I go at, that not just me, that everyone goes after armor. And it's gonna be big. It's gonna be so good. I love it.
Agreed. They changed some stuff with Eververse this season. You could like buy certain things now if you really want to. Kind of, it's like, hey, there's everything. If you want, you can buy it with real money now. So we'll see how that kind of goes out in the future as well. It's a big change.
As they said, Bright Dust is going to be still a main way that you can, like,
yes.
It's going to have a premium, like, actual dollar value currency, and then an in-game non-dollar value currency that you can continually acquire. That's pretty much the business model of most online games that have cosmetics nowadays. And I'm going to be the devil's advocate here and say, that's fine. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I have to say that it's fine. Like I said, I am Destiny rich, but I'm very poor in other video games that have cool cosmetics that I want. But I understand that because I don't play them, I don't get to have them unless I want to buy them.
Exactly.
So it's a matter of spending your valuable currencies on the stuff that gives you what you want. And I recommend approaching it that way. Bungie's also making it easier to get Bright Dust, so that's a big deal to me. Yes. In that you'll be able to just go, every time you do an activity, you get some Bright Dust. I don't think it'll ever be a lot. I'm sure there will be a buff or something you can buy that'll increase it for a while. You know, pretty standard stuff like that. But I think it's going to be good.
I think so too. So that'll lead to my next question.
Mm-hmm.
We'll finish off with the raid stuff. So again, like, the future of Destiny, Shadowkeep, this Year 3 Destiny, with Annual Pass, and then, of course, Destiny 3 itself. Kind of how things might be, or...
Well, I think that going forward with all of the armor changes that we talked about, the economy changes in the game, it's going to go from being this, I don't know how to put this, predatory way of trying to convince you to play the game and then therefore spend money, and it's going to go into this synergistic thing where it's just like, hey, we understand you're going to play the game, we've made part of it free to play, if you want to play other content you have to buy it. Reasonable. Very reasonable. They've also made a way so you don't feel... I hope they adjust their pricing policy on things in the Eververse store, because right now they're way too expensive.
Yes.
By taking away guaranteed Eververse item drops out of the loot pool, the way they are now, they've made it so I need to be able to get Bright Dust other ways. So I'm hopeful... Oh, you're shooting things.
Yeah,
that they're going to continue being smart about how they approach us as a consumer. And I think they will. I think they learned a little bit from the last couple of years of how angry everybody was with a lot of those aspects of the game. Don't put the coolest stuff behind a paywall. Give me a way to get it without paying more money for it. I paid a lot of money to play this game, and I would like to keep playing it.
exactly.
Please be smart. I think they will. I feel like they've got a really player-friendly standpoint right now, and I think that's like paramount to them succeeding as the developer that they are. Like, they had a really good run of it in the Halo eras, and then they split, and then they had a... D1 and D2 pretty much went the same. The first year was really rough, and then it got a lot better. Then it got a lot better. Like, it's... I hope that from here, going in towards D3, they take all the lessons they learned from years 2 forward from D1 and D2. They take the best parts of that, put it together into a cohesive video game, and then publish that when it's ready. Don't give me D1 and D2 Part 2. I don't want that. I want a full game that's ready to go with properly balanced leveling systems that you've worked. You can work for years on this. I'll still buy it later. Keep some minor content coming for D2. You don't need to put a huge team on it. If you keep stuff coming out, we're crazy. We're gonna keep playing it.
Oh yes.
We're those kind of people, and that's okay to be. Nothing wrong with that. But I am extraordinarily hopeful for the future of Destiny. I think with Shadowkeep, we're going to get a lot of really powerful content. Because this is what people are estimating this is about Rise of Iron size, which is, for those of you that played D1, was a massive late year 3 addition to the game. But we're talking massive, massive.
Oh yeah.
This won't be as big as Forsaken, content-wise. But they're already planning additional stuff via the season pass, and they have that weird like 3-tier system now, which just is a little baffling. But all of the content they're going to have available for about $100 a year is worth it. That's what I say. $100 for a year of video game playing, which is going to work out to several hundred hours of gameplay for even a casual player. That's a good deal. That's a really, really good deal. The cheapest hobby there is. It's great.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I don't mind spending an extra, money for those DLCs because I know I'll enjoy playing them.
I'm gonna play them.
If you're only gonna buy and then play like once or twice, then.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's gonna only play it a couple of times. You don't spend a bunch of money on something to only touch it one time. I mean, we've all done that, but you try not to. But Destiny's going to be in a phenomenal place. Going back to the moon is going to unlock a huge amount of stuff for us. Like, that's just a nostalgia kick so hard for me as a D1 player. Like, the moon, I remember the first time I went to the moon, all of my former, all of my C-Squad clan mates had to work that day. I was the only one that got to go, and I was just like, ha, 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 in the beta. It's like, look at what I get to do. Oh, it's closed when you get off work. Ha ha.
Right.
It will be an excellent experience. I'm very excited to do the raid day one. I think that the additional raid layers and raids that they create over the course of year 3 are going to be incredible. I think that we're going to be in for some of the wildest stuff that we've had in the Destiny universe. We're going to finally get to explore some deeper lore on some of these other things, like the 9. They've done a lot of stuff about the 9. I think that we're going to see some 9 stuff all over the place. We're gonna finally get some more information about the Vex. We're gonna get a lot, and we're gonna get a lot of really cool like throwback quests, like the Bad Juju quest, the Whisper quest, Outbreak, stuff like that. I think that's gonna be a really good way going forward for them to reintroduce old exotics from D1 that were really fun to use and really powerful, and give us more content. These crafted story missions are incredible, and they're one of the best parts of this game. So challenging and so rewarding. And raiding, I wish I could comment on that for the new raid coming up, but it's not out yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
We will see. But all in all, like, pass rating, past everything I've done in this game, Destiny 2 is in the best place that it's ever been. And I have an extremely strong feeling that come Shadowkeep, it's going to be in a better place. If you want to play the game, now is the time to get in and start leveling and getting accustomed to the way that it feels, because the game feels phenomenal.
Get some of the weapons.
Get going. Start. Come back to the game if you took a break. Start. Get just a little practice in. It's worth it. It'll be good for you. Get your thumbs all warmed up. You got a lot of work to do.
Got a lot of work to do, Guardian.
Yeah.
So that'll lead to my another point.
Okay.
So great. Destiny's looking great for the future, and whatever Destiny 3 may be, who knows? But there'll probably be talks probably at next D3 or whatever.
Yeah, I have a feeling. D3 is just so far out there at this point, and it's obvious that they've had to scale back production of the game because of losing their partnership with Activision. I'm not going to say anything negative about that. You have your opinions. Form them. You are hopefully an intelligent enough human being that you can decide whether or not that was a good thing. We all know it's a good thing. Come on. But them going forward, seeing how they're going to approach everything else is going to be huge. The success of Shadowkeep is literally the success of Bungie as a company. If this fails, this all goes away. And I don't know if a lot of people out there understand that, how important it is for Shadowkeep to succeed. If you love Destiny and you ever want to play Destiny again, you have to play Shadowkeep. It's a financial obligation you have to the company that produces fun for you. Not to the company, that sounds weird, but to the game, to the universe. Like, you're a part of this. You want to produce results in here and have fun here. You need to play Shadowkeep. It's the most important financial thing that's ever happened to that company. And without our support, all of this cool stuff that we were talking about, all of this love, all of this fun room that we're in right now, full of enemies that stand there, and our debug room they gave us, this all goes away. And I don't want that to happen. I hope everybody comes back and plays this game. I hope new people come and play this game. This game is phenomenal. It's addicting. It's very addicting. It's a very satisfying looter to get loot in. It's rare to see it that good. But I still recommend it to everyone. I'm like, oh, play this game with me, please.
Exactly. Come play Destiny.
Come play Destiny.
Now.
You'll love it. D3 though, D3 is going to be a big deal. I'm hoping D3 really takes the idea of a lot of the ideas of the 9, knowing that you as a player exists. That's a thing. You can go look that up if you want. There's a lot of like deep lore stuff that they have access to that we haven't really seen yet. And I think that after possibly year 4, if there is gonna be a year 4, is gonna be a time where we fight a lot more of like the darkness itself. Or they'll save that for D3, which might actually be easier.
Good. That could be a big
I think
story.
D3. Yeah, it's a huge thing. Personally, I think D3 is going to be a launch title for the next generation of consoles.
The old PS5.
PS5, Xbox
2,
1, 2, or whatever they're going to call it.
1.5.
I'm not going to hate on Xbox, man. You guys got the shit end of the stick with this franchise. You guys had it rough.
Yeah, for Xbox players.
Yeah, man. You guys didn't get any of the cool stuff we got. You'll all get to play with it soon.
Yes. No more console exclusivity. Yeah.
You deserve to play with Wave Splitter. It is a fun weapon.
Briefly, I want to talk about... There's a lot of games, too, have come out that people are like, oh, this is going to be the Destiny killer. Destiny's done for now. Like, Division first came out and stuff, and...
Nothing will ever kill Destiny until Destiny kills itself. That's the way that it's going to have to be. Destiny is one of the most polarizing video games that I've ever seen exist. I know, I have friends of mine in the real world, like not even digital friends. These are people that I know face to face that I talk to and hang out with great regularity, that hate Destiny, that have never played Destiny. They just hate it. Like, that game sucks. I'm like, why does that game suck? When's the last time you played it? Like, oh, I've never played it. I'm like, why does it suck? They're like, because I hear it sucks. I'm like, that's insane to me that you would approach this like that.
I have a lot of people too that have also said that.
Yeah, like, that sucks. Like,
they're
okay,
like, I've heard it
sucks.
But it's like, which I mean,
it doesn't, though. There have been many times that there's been times that it sucked.
Oh yeah, there has.
I am not naive. I am a fanboy, but I am not a naive fanboy.
Like I said,
Destiny
D1 beginning or D2 beginning was very awful.
What a bad video game. Destiny killers don't exist. These games that are supposed Destiny killers outside of the Division, I need to say this right now because the Division was in dev before Destiny, I believe, and even if it wasn't, the time frame from when it came out is right next to Destiny. They're the same. They're part of the same crew of like interactive cooperative looter shooters that are in a persistent online world. That they occupy a similar space. Destiny just does it to this really, really polished high-end degree. Even at its worst, the mechanics of the game themselves are phenomenal. Movement, shooting. Usually your power fantasy. Year 1 D2 did not have that. But Division has always, like, both Divisions have suffered from the same thing as both Destinies. Year 1 struggles. Division 2 did a much better job than Division 1, 100%. Destiny 2 did a much worse job than Destiny 1, 100%. D1 Year 1, you could forgive a lot because nothing had ever existed like this before. You were the first one, you get a lot of passes, bud. Yes. You don't get to do that again. So Year 1 D3 will not be like this, I can promise you that. They know better. Can't lose that many players. Anthem. Oh my god, what a fiasco Anthem was. Anthem was an absolute
the Destiny
fiasco.
killer.
The Destiny killer Anthem, where you're a robot. You can be Iron Man. And then everybody played the beta. And most people got wise. I'm not here to bash on Anthem. I think Anthem is a cool game. Anthem should have been a legitimate contender for the Destiny crown.
I wanted it to be good.
I wanted it to be good so bad, but every time I've played that game, I've had a hard time. It's fixed largely now. A lot of the issues that I had earlier that from the few times I've played the game are fixed. Drop rates, perks not working right, things like that. Some of the loading time is fixed. I understand that it's... Okay, I'm going to say it this way then. We are going to talk about the Activision thing, I lied. EA and BioWare have a really similar relationship to Activision and Bungie. It was a very this really aggressive, like old school style of video game development that doesn't work in a proper real world timeline. So what you end up with is this fragmented nonsense that Anthem was, because EA has another policy where they don't tell you what part of the game you're working on. They just tell you to do something for the game. So you don't really know what you're doing, and that's what happened to Anthem. They've been doing that for years. There's dozens of interviews from former developers that worked for BioWare, worked for other parts of EA too, to tell you that. It's very true, and it's brutal to those poor devs. Anthem, fundamentally, one of the coolest games I've ever seen in my life. That's so cool. It should be one of the best games ever, and I think in about 6 months from now, it's going to be one of the best games ever, and it's going to be a nice little side distraction for me. Personally. I would like it to be. But one thing I have to say that Destiny just absolutely beats Anthem in is that it has PvP.
Yeah. The fact that Destiny does have, like, again, you do anything.
Destiny is made to be a hobbyist game. Here's a world